All right, it's been an hour, so welcome back. At this point, we are ready to shape the dough. So first of all, let's preheat the oven to 425 Fahrenheit. So I'm gonna go and turn on my oven. And also, if you want to make bagel, we need to bathe it in the hot water. So just use a big pot and fill it with water. So later the bagel will be floating in the water. So probably at least this depth of water. I'm going to start to boil the water as well. Let's wait a little bit. Now let's check out our dough. Very interesting. If you look from the side, I'm not sure if you can see, but the plastic wrap has been also like bubbled up. There's lots of gas produced by the fermentation. And also you can tell the size of the dough has been doubled. I think it's a little bit more than double, but yeah, let's take this off and pour the dough out. Yeah, I'm just getting the plastic wrapper. Not wrapper. Okay. Let's take the. Actually, before you do that, if you like, you can just punch it, just to deflate the dough. It's a very interesting thing to do because you hear the gas has been punched out of the dough. And then take the dough out of your bowl and just put it on the tabletop and shape it in a long. Let me adjust it a little bit. Okay, put it on the tabletop. And we are making 4 bagels today, so just cut in half. And then another half. Making 4 doughs, 4 little balls. All right, so take the first one. Because you see this is the surface of the dough, let's just wrap it. I always like punch it down, press it a little bit, and then fold it. So this side, it will have a very nice smooth surface. And in this process, we are also keeping deflating the dough. So shape it a little bit, make a ball, and let it rest here. Also take another piece, doing the same thing. Just press, stretch, fold, press, stretch, fold. Doing it for a couple of times. So this surface, you're stretching it to be a very smooth, nice surface. And just roll it a little bit. So the bottom part, it's not perfect, but it helps them to be more like seamless, kneaded together. All right, second one, then the third one. Don't stretch it too hard because we don't want the gluten to be broken, right? That's the key of the chewiness of our bread. Deflating, stretch, fold, forming a nice surface, and then roll it a little bit on the surface and let it sit. All right. Also, stretch, fold, deflate, a very nice round ball. Okay, 4 of them, and put the plastic wrap on it and let it rest like 5 minutes. Yeah, my kids just ran outside. That's why it's pretty quiet at this moment in the house. Um, so at this point, this is some leftover from yesterday, but this is basically the egg whites of an egg. We are making the egg wash at home. So what you can do is just take an egg and break it, separate the yolk from the egg white, and only leave the egg white in your plate. You can add a little bit water to make it more diluted, and beat it a little bit more. So, I couldn't find it. Where's my whisk? I'll just use this one. But after you have the egg white ready, you can pour in some water to make it more diluted and just beat it like this. Just mix it a little bit. And later you will also need a, what's this called? A brush. Is it called brush? To wipe it on the top of your bagel. But just while the doughs are resting, we can prepare the egg wash. Let me set this aside for a second. Let's see. I would like to wait 2 more minutes because after we just wrap it and press it, we want it to rest a little bit to stretch. So if you haven't got your water ready, you can have a big pot and fill in the water and then turn on the heat. We need it to boil. Also, again, for the oven, please preheat it to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, anything missing? We're making sesame bagel, so I'm gonna get some sesame. So for the look of it, white sesame, in my opinion, looks a little bit nicer than the black sesame. Okay. So at this point, let's wait another 2 minutes and I'll be back in a second. So while we are waiting, and let me just talk a little bit more. Some friends were asking, can we use our all-purpose flour for bread? The answer is yes, but the effect, the taste won't be as good because the percentage of the protein in your flour are different. And there are so many different brands of all-purpose flour in US. I've tried a couple of them. I tried, what's that? Gold medal. That's the most popular one in the grocery store. Or also, I tried King Arthur. So these 2 brands are pretty good. Their protein percentage is pretty high, and the absorption of the water of all-purpose flour is similar to bread flour. But I also tried the Target brand. I forgot the actual brand, but it's the is that called Market Pantry? Yeah, I think it's Market Pantry, but that brand, I think it's different. if you use the same recipe, the dough is tending to be very watery, and when you are kneading it, it will become very sticky. Yeah, and it takes, I don't know, sometimes if you knead it longer, it will become better. Sometimes it keeps being sticky, so it makes the process of shaping the dough very hard. So if you are using all-purpose, I do recommend King Arthur or gold medal. It can be replaced. Yeah, just some tips from my experience. All right, so at this point, let me check my water. Okay, just give it 1 more minute. We will start to shape the dough in 60 seconds. All right. Okay, we are almost ready. So if on the sides, please prepare some dried flour because we're gonna punch a hole in the middle. That's what makes bagel a bagel. All right, let's just take one of it. So if it's a little bit sticky, it's totally fine. But if you are annoyed by the stickiness, you can just have some white. Let me just pour this over. Just have some dry flour on your hand and just pat it a little bit, and then we're making a bagel. So use 2 fingers. We are trying to pinch it, and then it will form a hole in the middle. So both fingers dip it in dry flour so it won't be sticky when you are going through the dough. Then you just pinch it like this. Very fun to make. Yeah, just okay. So you can see here, there's already a hole in it. And use another hand. So both index finger will have dry flour on it. And from both sides, go inside. And then do this. So the hole will become bigger and bigger. So normally it's 1 inch to 2 inch. I don't think it really matters to the size you like. So this is my bagel. Okay, so that's my first one. And then let me have some room here. So this is my first bagel. I'll just set it here. Now I'm going to just go ahead and make the rest 3. Just take another one. Have some dry flour on the hand, pat it around. And if you are punching the hole in the middle, make sure your thumb and your index finger has dry flour on it. And just go ahead, punch a hole in the middle. I like this step. You don't get to do this in most of the bread. All right, so a hole is formed and both index finger has some dry flour, and then start to make the circle a little bit bigger. Just use some strength. Try to make the hole bigger. And then, yeah, the second one is ready. Set it aside. Okay. Let's go into the third one. I'm just patting some dry flour on it. And both finger has dry flour. Do another bagel. I like to doing the circle. You don't have to. Like I like to turn it around. It makes me feel it's more even, but the result doesn't really differ a lot. Both finger inside and make the hole bigger. This dough, I didn't really shape it too well because you can see it almost looks like a rectangle. And on the side, this side, I didn't let it rest enough, I guess. So, but it's fine. It turned out as good, like as tasty as it should be. Yeah, so you don't need to pat it if you are okay with the tiny bitty stickiness. Then punch a hole. Both finger inside and do the circle to make the hole a little bit bigger. You do want to make it a little bigger, like 1 to 1.5 inch. Otherwise, it will still grow in size when you put it in the water, when you are doing the hot water bath. Okay, so now we have the 4 bagels. The dough has been shaped. So the next step, which makes it really different from other bread, is it's not going through the second time fermentation, but it will just go, it will need to do a hot water bath. That's why we were boiling a big pot of hot water. Let me see if we can show this. Okay, all right. We need this so that we can pour the bagel out. Let me turn on the light. Is this better? Okay. Ooh, boiling. So, okay, so this is really boiled, but at this point we are turning down the heat, so it will be like simmering. You don't want to have it super boiled with all the big bubbles. So at this point, we just throw the bagel into the hot water, and each side will be boiled for like 1 minute. So I do use a timer to help me. Normally 1 minute to 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the maximum. It will reach the max chewiness. That's what I learned from YouTube. And for me, I do it like between 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. So the time is running, and just make sure it won't be boiled too much, but it should have little bubbles coming up, like simmering. Yeah, so at this point, let's just wait for 1 minute. I think the longer it boils, the more chewy it will be, meaning it's harder to tear it apart. Okay. And I do apologize. I know the first video, I think my voice was really low. Mainly it's because I have little ones running around. I try to not disturb them, and also trying to make them not to disturb me. And I hope I will add some more subtitle in the video later on tonight. But at this point, hope you can follow. All right. It's more than 1 minute, so I'm trying to flip them. So this is the point. You need this thing. I don't know what's the name of it. I know how to say it in Chinese, but not in English. Okay. Oh, see, it's too boiled. Okay, so I'll pick one, flip it. Pick one, flip it. Pick the second one, flip it, and then the fourth one, flip it. All right, so each side, 1 minute to 2 minutes. So let's wait. So I set the timer to be 3 minutes. At 1.5 minute mark, I start to flip the first one, and then I flip the second one. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Yeah, in my opinion, bagel takes less time, and it's actually simpler than the other, what should I say, than the other type of bread. The hot water bath basically saves the second time fermentation. And my family do like bagel. I would say they prefer these chewy or more yeah, more chewy bread than the soft and sweet bread, like toast. They are not fan of toast. So trying to explore different type of I would say European bread. Yeah. Yeah, if you have any question, feel free just to comment and I can answer. All right. So we're at the time. So at this point, I'm just gonna take them out of the hot water. So I still like to flip them one more time because I like the other side better. So I want the other side to be facing up. Let me use my right hand. All right, after you flip them, take them out of the water and try to drip away the hot waters as much as you can. And then put it back to your parchment paper or baking sheet. I never use foil for bread. I don't know, it's just foil sometimes gets too hot and the surface of the breads, if they are touching the foil, sometimes they got burned a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe I did something wrong, but I prefer parchment paper. All right. Yeah, drip it, put it back. Oh, one thing to add is for me, I didn't add sugar or honey into the hot water just to be economic because after I boil them, this water is kind of like I don't reuse them. So I feel it's like a waste of the sugar and honey. But in order to make a very nice glazed look of the crust, I do recommend to add some honey or sugar into the water, into the boiling water. So what's the next step? Okay, so egg wash. This is basically the egg white has some water in it and mix them. So I just use some egg wash left over from my yesterday's batch of the bagel. So at this point, I'll just, coat it. Just to, don't be frugal at this point. Make it nice. And the second one, I do 2 at a time, just my habit. So it won't be dry when I start to apply the sesames, but it's a little bit more efficient than doing 1 at a time. Okay, now adding sesame, you can either just pour them onto your bagel directly or use your hand, whatever you like. I just keep talking because for this half hour, we don't have kids at home. I feel so happy, not so heavy, but it's a good time for myself to talk and make videos. All right, so after the sesame is on top, you can press it a little bit so it doesn't fall so easily. So at first I didn't press it, and when we cut it, the sesame was just falling apart. And my husband was like, I was complaining like he's spilling sesame all over, and of course he thinks it's my responsibility because I didn't press the sesame well enough into the bagel. So let's see. I'll try to make sure the responsibility is not on my side. It should be him, right? Okay, press it hard enough. And I'm a fan of sesame, so I do apply lots of them onto the top. It just smells so good once it's baked. Stick it to my finger. It's fine. All right, alrighty. Let's go to the next 2. And even the sesame around, it's fine. We can eat it. Next 2. So at this point, your oven should be already ready. Yeah, just add lots of egg wash. Maybe it will be a good idea to add some sugar into this, what's it called, into the egg wash. I don't know. Never tried. I can try next time. Alrighty. Sesame. And if you don't apply anything, you are just making what's it called? The original bagel, which doesn't have anything to add on. And also do remember, buy your or make your favorite cream cheese. My favorite is blueberry cream cheese. My husband, he likes the veggie, the salty one, the cream cheese. And also, of course, my kids, they like the sweet one, blueberry, like me. Yeah, without cream cheese, bagel isn't that great to eat, in my opinion. I do love cream cheese with the chewiness. And then with some coffee and bagel. I'm not advertising if you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I need to be focusing on pressing the sesame down. Pressing the sesame down. I hope you enjoy making this as I do. So for most of the baking, it's just patience and the joy from your everyday life with kids or with work or even with this COVID thing. We do hope it ends early, so we are not trapped and doing baking at home, right? All right, I think I applied. I'm not good at applying sesame without wasting so many of them, but yeah, it's fine. Alrighty, I think I'm done at this point. I will put the bagel into the oven the oven is 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and I will be, it should be baked for 20 minutes. So I'm going to stop the video. I'm not going to let you wait for me like 20 minutes or listen to me talking for 20 minutes. I love the sesame, so I'm not wasting any of them. Alrighty, so I'm sending this into the oven, again, 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 minutes. So once it's almost done, it has a very nice golden look of the bagel. And I will use the done image as my thumbnail for the YouTube video, so you know how it looks. But just give me a second. I think I showed this in my last video, but basically this is how it looks once it's done. I made the same batch yesterday, but I gave most of them to my friends. So I'm making another batch. Otherwise, my family will starve. Alrighty, going into the oven. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment. And also, you can join, if you know my WeChat group, you can join that group and I can answer directly. Thank you, guys. I'm having fun baking. Bye.